Here's your mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mic check, mic check. Good morning, everyone. Yeah. 17 of the best middle and high schools in the US of A right here today. And what a great morning it is here in Washington. This is exceptional. It's usually hot and humid. It kind of makes up for what happened to you guys Friday night and Saturday morning. I understand it rained so hard that you lost power for almost 8 hours. Is that right? Even the Department of Energy, some things they cannot do. They cannot do that. There is a higher power at work. Nice to have you all back here. Some of you are here for the very first time. There are students here from the Science Academy STEM Magnet in North Hollywood and the community middle school in Plainsboro Township, New Jersey. Could you guys stand up so we can welcome you? First time to the competition, and I hope not the last. I hope you've had a great time here, and we will look forward to seeing you in subsequent years. It is, we brand ourselves as a competition that is like no other, and I hope you found that to be true. Isn't this the best experience ever? Here you are. It is. It's the best experience ever. Win or lose, you get 4 days in the nation's capital, and you get to lead charmed lives. You don't have to pay taxes. The government is paying you. The government is paying you. They're paying for your plane ticket. They're paying for 4 days here at this beautiful Bolger Center, and they are paying for all of the ice cream that you want to eat. For many of you, it seems that ice cream is the real reason you're here. It's the elixir of your lives, says Jerry Zhu of Jonas Clark Middle School. Jerry, if you're out there, I don't mean to embarrass you, but I liked what you said. And he wrote in his bio, as you all did, in the third person, and you don't like writing in the third person, you've told me. Jerry says he is thrilled to attend the National Science Bowl with his friends and is studying hard toward the end goal, a huge bowl of the famed NSB ice cream. So that is more important than the trophy, apparently. One attendee today likely is not here for the ice cream. Coach David Schuth of the Sycamore School tells us he makes his own, so he doesn't have to make do with what we're serving here today. Nice to have you here, Coach. We were talking about students that are here for the very first time, like the students from the middle school in New Jersey. Daniel Wright Junior High sends us Nisha Salian here for the very first time. How many of you are like Jacob Stevens, who's here from Ames High School, who is back for his 7th year? How many of you are multiple players here, have been back for many years? It's great having you back, Jacob. And Jacob says that, and I like what he says because this is the essence of what this is all about. He has very much enjoyed his experience in Science Bowl and believes it has been a huge part of his love for science. We hope this enhances your love for science and it makes you redouble your commitment to what you want to do with your life. While you've been here in the nation's capital for a few days, most of you flew into Reagan National Airport. You drove out here to this campus here in Potomac. I understand you took a tour at night of some of the monuments, and after the competition today, you're going to the Smithsonian. And I hope while you're here, if this is your first visit ever to the Washington, D.C. area, that you are taking in what we are so proud of here. All these monuments are awed by people all around the world. And our country's gotten a bad rap lately, undeservedly so. And while Washington can often seem a cold place, even an angry and a dangerous place, it's actually a town full of warmth and hospitality. And I hope you found that to be so. I hope all the people you've encountered, all of us Washingtonians, have been polite and kind to you, and I hope you're going to go home with that memory of this wonderful town. You know, because of, I hope too that while you're here that you've made some friends. I know that's happened over the years. Some of the people you've met here today, I know you're going to stay in touch on Facebook and other ways, but as you begin your careers, and many of you are going to go on to become eminent scientists, you're going to be eminent in whatever field you want to do because of the talent you've displayed here. You're going to cross paths with these people. And we have not had a Nobel laureate yet among our Science Bowl alums, and we've been around for 31 years. But I know it's an inevitability. And when that Nobel laureate gives his or her speech, I hope they invoke this experience as how it started or how it enhanced all that they have believed in. Because you're now part of the Science Bowl family, you're here. You have no choice. You are going to be with us for life. And I hope this is not a one and done. I hope you come back many times, just like Jacob has done. We have many alums here today. We're going to have them stand in just a few moments. They come back year after year. They are volunteers here. They are indeed part of the Science Bowl family. And they volunteer. This is something that is dear to their heart. Of course, besides the camaraderie and the possibility of winning the National Science Bowl trophy and your Dairy Queen delirium, there's also the Science Bowl's history of sartorial splendor. How many of you, be honest, couldn't wait to get your DOE Science Bowl polo shirts? Yeah. Those of you that have been here for many years, I know you have enough of them to wear a different color every day of the week. A few years ago, people mounted a campaign for sweatpants to go along with the polo shirts. We give you baseball caps, we've given you socks, so DOE in many ways has become a haberdasher for high school students here. You know, but it wasn't the promise of the bling that got you here. It was your discipline, your smarts, your ambition, and of course, good coaching. Let's give a nice round of applause to all those coaches that are out there. The coaches have done so much. Coach Moody from Buchholz High School. Mark, nice to have you here today. He's got a great story. He graduated from Buchholz. He married a Buchholz graduate, and now he teaches at Buchholz. That's the kind of devotion that all of our coaches seem to embody here. They care so much about what they do. You know, if you're like Rishabh Swami of Ames High School, you've been doing some things to get ready to be here. He says he's been pressing, waiting copies of Campbell's Earth Science with one hand and Vander's Organic Chemistry with the other. He's a bodybuilder with his brain. I did not know what Campbell's meant to you guys. It is the biology Bible, according to a lot of folks of you out there who wrote. If you're Ishani Banerjee of Community Middle School, this is yet one more feather in your cap being here. Since you and your flute have already had a pinnacle experience, you have played Carnegie Hall. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Impressively, 5 of you, including Aishwarya Agrawal of the Odell School in Washington, have earned black belts in Taekwondo. We will give you plenty of room. And I like this especially because this testifies to the empathy you have and the kind of people you are. There is a future medical researcher among you. His name is Saket Pemedipatri of the Science Academy STEM Magnet, whose goal in life is to find a cure for the eye problems that have long plagued his dad. A good son you are, Saket. As genuine hometown heroes, which all of you are, you have the right to feel proud and to boast. Nicholas Dang from Buchholz High School currently stars, he tells us, in his own Netflix series called Dang It, Nicholas, one that has been panned by the critics and one which we never heard of until now. Anant Asthana of the Dulles School in Texas claims that he is such an accurate fortune teller that he can ace any test in his sleep and predict any chemical reaction perfectly. What a talent. He goes on to say, and this is where it kind of falls apart, Anant also hopes to win enough money here to buy MIT instead of just applying there. Anant, you have the Science Bowl confused with the Wheel of Fortune. We do not have a big check for you today. Maybe a nice gift card, but you're not going to be buying MIT, but do apply there. They'd be lucky to get you. And for you would-be Lotharios out there, know that you have competition, because Gideon Safuri of Lexington High School is, as he writes, even on a bad day, I am hotter than a Bitcoin miner. It gets better. It gets better. Even on a bad day, I am hotter than a Bitcoin miner heat stroking in their sleep. You know, I thought about that a couple times, and I thought, how did that get past the censors? There's something disturbing about that. And Gideon's teammate, Kevin Zhao, not to be outmanned, Kevin, says he is the true heir of the coveted title, the Titan of Testosterone. We have no trophy for that, Kevin. Thank you for listening. Welcome to the finale of the DOE Science Bowl. As many of you know, you are part of a great tradition. We started back in 1991, long before you were born, back when the internet had just gone public. There was a total of one website. Mobile phones were clunky. Pluto still had 15 years left on its planetary lease, and words like meme and emoji were in nobody's vocabulary. In the last 31 years, nearly 325,000 middle school and high school students have competed here in the nation's capital. Today, there are 80 of you, representing 9 middle schools and 8 high schools. And while the numbers are lower than in past years, isn't it just great to be able to do this again in person? Isn't this wonderful? God loves Zoom, but after 2 years of being Zoomies and Roomies, I know you guys are ready to get rid of those masks when you can, and that we're back here in person doing this. This magnificent venue, the Bolger Center, this is our first time here. Isn't this a great place? Isn't this a great place? Over the years, we've been all over the DMV. We were at the old Washington Convention Center when we first started out, the 4-H Center in Chevy Chase, Maryland, the DOE headquarters building, the Forrestal building down on Independence Avenue, the National Building Museum, which looks like the Parthenon, a magnificent venue, and the Lisner Auditorium at George Washington University. We've had many energy secretaries here. The first was General James Watkins, and of all the energy secretaries that visited us, perhaps the most notable was Dr. Stephen Chu, President Obama's energy secretary. As a Nobel laureate, as you can imagine, he got a rock star reception from the crowd. And when he finished his remarks, Dr. Chu said, "Does anybody have any questions?" He was a very kind of shy man. One young man kind of nervously put his hand up and he said, "Dr. Chu, can I have your autograph?" 550 people sitting out there. And he seemed a little discomforted at first. He said, "Why not?" So he came up, signed that autograph, and that young man went back holding that autograph up like he had just won the Stanley Cup. It was a raucous scene there, and it was a great moment. You know, over the years, Bill Nye the Science Guy has been here. We've also hosted Ira Flato. Those of you that listen to National Public Radio, he hosts Science Friday. But perhaps the one visitor who left us most starstruck was First Lady Michelle Obama. She did more than just deliver congratulatory remarks, which she did beautifully. She sat in the front there with the hosts and asked science questions herself. You should have seen the wide eyes on the contestants on the stage up here with the First Lady asking those questions. I'll always remember that, and also I will remember that appreciative wink I got from Mrs. Obama after introducing her to the crowd. Of course, organizing this competition is a Herculean task. And among the great DOE science staff that have been working with you and taking care of you over the past 4 days, folks for whom this is more passion than job. There's no one who works harder or sweats the details more than Jan Tyler. She's sitting right here. Jan she has tough love. She's a commanding general, but she's also your mom here for these 4 days. And she is worried that all of you have the best possible time and tries to ensure that. She's just remarkable. I'm here because of Jan. This is my 25th year doing this, and she caught me a few years ago, and she said, Dave, we have a bargain. I'm not going to sign a contract with you, but you have to agree to come back to do this as long as I'm here. And I'm sticking to that, Jan. You know that. You know, the DOA staff, they labor all year to give you this, one of the best intellectual challenges and science experiences that this country has to offer. They all embody the generosity that is one of our country's most cherished traits. And they have learned, as many of you already know, and if you don't, you will learn it soon, that when you do well in life, that's when you do good. And all of these people at DOA have been doing good for these 31 years, and as a consequence, their lives have been meaningful. They have done well. As Emerson once said, that was his quote, before you leave today or on your way home, as you're flying home, if you took the train, or if you're at Montgomery Blair and you're just across the county and you're driving home, at some point, I hope you will take the time to do something that is kind of quaint. I want you to write a thank you note. Not an email, not a text. Get a piece of paper, write on there exactly what you're thankful for, put it in an envelope, put on a stamp, even though the stamp rate went up yesterday, the postage rate went up yesterday, and snail mail it to Jan and to the other people who made this an indelible experience for you. And I will guarantee that they will save those letters. They will pass them around. It will make their day, and I dare say some of them will frame some of those letters, because that's what it's about. They want to know that they made a connection with each of you. One of my favorite parts of the Science Bowl was getting to meet you vicariously through your bios, as you've heard already. To a person, you are witty, charming, so very accomplished, and yes, a little quirky. Take Alexander Weaver of the Davidson Academy, whose main goal in life, as he writes, is ridding the earth of pine trees. Gee, Alexander, I don't know what a pine tree did. Did you step on a pine cone? Are you afraid of needles? It's kind of quirky, but I'd like to find out a little bit more about that. And I don't mean to embarrass you. I just like to share some of this because I think this is, that's what you do when you're a young person. You say things like this. You write things like this. Nii Dasaniaki of Ames High School, he's out there. He is in love with the film Zootopia's character, Judy Hopps. You know what, Nee? You know what, Nee? I can see that. Only because, you know, that rabbit, she's kind of adorable. I get it. Viraj Nagandi of the Dulles School says he is an insanely smart potato who in his free time likes to roast people. The way I read that, I thought, is he the neighborhood cannibal? What is this? He likes to roast. I know what you mean. I worried that Titus Tsai of Mission San Jose might be bulimic, since he says that athletically he really enjoys hurling. Even if it means falling over a lot, he doesn't understand why it is so much fun. I think that was a typo. I think he meant hurdling, not hurling. I hope so. And Tesla STEM student Samilia Khan Badal Khan says he is fascinated by the physical world and loves learning about it, just not the rocks. Just not the rocks. So like the Big Bang's Sheldon Cooper, don't put Samilia in a room with geologists, those dirt people. To finish out here before we get started, just a few classics from past years, things that students had written. A student from South Dakota who told me with some embarrassment that when one of the questions in the regionals asked for the name of Jupiter's reflective power, instead of saying albedo, he blurted out libido. We know where his mind was. There was the student from Illinois whose dream was to make it to the final so he could finally say to the questioners, let's make that a true daily double. And then there was the student from Kentucky who, channeling Michael Keaton's character in the movie Night Shift, who suggested the fastest way to make tuna salad was to feed mayonnaise to the tuna. His idea, Ben's idea, was to put popcorn inside pancakes so they could flip themselves. Not bad. And my favorite, there was sometimes love blooms here at the Science Bowl. We had a couple that met in their sophomore year, and they stayed with us through their senior year, 3 years. In their bios in that first year, they said initially that they liked to bake brownies together and liked painting dinosaurs on little children's faces. The next year, they said, we are studying entomology together. Eventually, in the third year, they said, we are now concentrating on mutualistic species interactions. One of the best euphemisms I've heard in a long time. One of the game shows that I host is called It's Academic, and a few years ago we had a question, nothing to do with science. It was, what woman is generally credited with sewing the first American flag? And the team, they all looked at each other and they were scratching their heads and they blurted out, we think it was Betty White. We think it was Betty White. Betty was alive at the time, and I know she would have appreciated that. God love her. Thank you, Betty, for being a friend. And thank you guys for being a friend. Thank you for having me here this morning. Good luck today. All right, we're about to get started. For the past 22 years, the National Science Bowl alumni have been invited to come back to the national event and participate as volunteers, as I have mentioned. They assist in a variety of tasks. You've seen them. You've seen them over the past couple of days. They serve as competition officials, and most importantly, they serve as role models to the students like you who attend this event. This year, there are 20 alumni in attendance. 2 of them will be moderating this morning. Several are science judges. Others will be room judges throughout the room. I'd like for all of the National Science Bowl alumni at this time to please stand and be recognized. Thank you for all you do for Science Bowl. In 2022, there were 62 high school and 46 middle school regional tournaments held via virtual format throughout the United States and its territories. More than 5,200 high school and 2,700 middle school students participated in these virtual events. In May, the winning team from each regional tournament competed in the virtual semifinals to determine the top 9 middle schools and the top 8 high school teams in attendance today. So the students sitting here today are in the top 1% of all Science Bowl students. So congratulations to all of you. You are amazing. You are amazing. As I said, you are hometown heroes, without a doubt. On to the competition. We are down to the 2 final middle schools. Odell Middle School from Bellevue, Washington. They are undefeated in double elimination. And Jonas Clark Middle School from Lexington, Massachusetts, with 1 loss in double elimination. In the high school competition, we have Lynbrook High School from San Jose. Sounds like a crowd favorite out there. Undefeated in double elimination. And Mission San Jose High School from Fremont, California. 1 loss. Let's wish all of the teams the best of luck. I will now turn the microphone over to our 3 moderators, distinguished Science Bowl alums, all. Anna Lauer. Anna, could you wave to everybody, please? Phelim McGowan. Phelim is back with us. Many years he has been with us. And Adam Matthews. Adam is over there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it is yours.